morning.
Old Miss Triple Dog was in the house last night. And I know you gonna come with that bulljive, Skip. You know what this is? This is 1,500 milligrams, so I ain't got time for your bulljive this morning.
Really? What else it got in it?
Whoa.
We're celebrating Miss Trip Dog was in the house. Skip, I brought out the good stuff for Miss Trip Dog. You know what
I don't know anything about any of that. I don't know it.
This is a special bottle for me. This is a limited edition bottle of Hennessy Paradise. Goes about $4 grand. Just for me and you. Got me a little song.
Yeah.
Take me to another bar. Take me to another ABC. So I can get a solo cup and a fifth of Hennessy.
Really?
Miss Triple Dub, they didn't think she was going to relocate. I knew she liked the warm weather out in L.A. She wasn't going to stay in Cleveland.
When noted comedian and host of the hit show Family Feud, Steve Harvey, exited from a meeting with President-elect Donald Trump last week, calling him, quote, a great man, end quote, to say there was a backlash would be a gross understatement. The word coon and sellout was immediately thrown out. His friend and contemporary D.L. Hughley wasn't happy either, aiming his vitriol at Trump instead of Steve Harvey. And of course, it provided the perfect excuse for naysayers to accuse sports greats like Jim Brown and Ray Lewis of being used as photo ops weeks ago. But on a day like today, when we celebrate the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., along with his undeniable historical impact, perhaps it's time for all of us to see the big picture, to essentially pay more attention to the issues permeating our society, what it'll take to resolve them, and connecting ourselves to who we ultimately can hold accountable, rather than focusing on disdain for that very individual in a position to make a difference, knowing that's not about to get us anywhere.
All right, y'all, here we are. So we're going to have an interesting topic, and let's, because of right now with voting about to happen and just the way people are seeing things with the way the world is and how crazy it is right now, what I want to bring to the table is a question. Very interesting. We have right now two prominent black sports analysts, talk show hosts, that are out there. And to me, they're on different sides of the spectrum when it comes to blackness most times. What is your take on between Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A. Smith? Which one is helping or hurting us as a people?
Oh, wow. Whoa.
Who's hurting? Easy.
Okay,
easy.
Let's say this. Who represents us best?
See, that's such an interesting question because blackness is, I don't like to define blackness as one thing. It's a spectrum. You know, you can't just say, They used to be talk about like you're well spoken, you talking white or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So when the well spoken become being a white thing, I'm not a fan of Stephen A. Smith. I don't particularly care for him.
Why not?
I think he yells a lot. Mm-hmm. I don't think he represents us well. I think if you are talking about things that are about blackness, I think whenever he offends somebody that's white, he's quick to apologize, put his tail between his legs and say, I'm sorry. If he offends somebody that's black, he's up on his soapbox talking about, I don't give a damn. Y'all need to hear this, blah, 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 blah.
So you would say that he doesn't represent us well?
I would say that, but he's not the only one. I feel if we're keeping it right there.
About these two. That's what we're keeping it.
I mean, yeah, I got that part, and then I like Shannon Sharpe too, but then there's certain things that Shannon Sharpe does that I don't like. You know what I'm saying? The hen dog and all that.
Oh man,
I don't. The red solo cups. Part of me gets it. You trying to say I'm gonna be myself regardless of who's there and whatever. I just don't feel it's necessary.
Okay,
but that's just me.
Okay, leave. That's why we asked the question.
I like Shannon Sharpe's take when he speaks about.
Absolutely.
Like our take?
Topics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, the things he say, he takes it to a place where most people on TV is not going to take it.
Absolutely.
He'll say certain things that most won't say, and I respect him for that. As far as the gimmicky thing goes with the hen dog and the do-rag, what's up, Skip? I don't feel that's needed.
Right.
But it's a gimmick. Right. It works. He puts it on IG. He gets mad retweets or whatever. I get it. As far as Stephen A., I don't agree with everything Stephen A. says. Some stuff I do understand his point, but it's like sometimes he's speaking as, look, you can't be this way because you don't want these people to look at you a certain way. And I think he does that a lot. Whereas
He speaks down to people.
Nah, I'm not gonna say speak down, but it's like it's like he doesn't want a black person sometime to be themselves. It's always, yo, look, if you're a black athlete, you have to be aware of how these white fans or these white owners or these white
said something about, remember the hoodies, the NBA
is looking at you, and I think that bothers me. Where Shannon Sharpe is not gonna go that route. Right. Shannon Sharpe doesn't care. Yo, if this is how you gonna be, this is how you gonna be, and I guess that's why him doing the whole Henny thing shouldn't be a problem because he's not putting on the front. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Where I think Stephen A. sometimes puts on the front. I don't know if he really feels that way when he tries to say what you shouldn't do.
All right, Dave.
This is gonna get
Come on
interesting.
the process.
It's not going to get interesting because
Yes, it is.
at the end of the day,
You're gonna segue Marc into some real shit.
No, not even that. At the end of the day,
bro.
This is entertainment. You know, those guys are on TV. They're here to entertain us. They're here to say things. They're here to have their own opinion.
But don't get away from what the question is.
I'm getting to the question.
Okay.
At the end of the trip, you have multiple people in this country that have platforms and use it, in my opinion, incorrectly. So to me, when you talk about Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A. Smith, who talk about sports predominantly, but they intertwine the blackness,
The
they intertwine some of the social stuff.
Right.
That's fine. Whether I agree with them or not, that's neither here or there. To me, it doesn't bother my blackness. That's A. B, us at the table, we all are guilty of it. We look at these guys and we also listen to music that doesn't represent me personally, but that's what we like. So I think that's all a liking. To me, from a perspective of blackness and who does what for black people, who's good for black people or not, I don't see them as being bad. I don't see them as being good. I'm like I am always. I look at it from both angles. Yes, it's good that two black men are on TV and they're successful. But then in other forms, guess what? There are a lot of things I disagree with Stephen A. Smith about. But he's a successful black man. He doesn't harm me. And I agree with your point of he had to apologize when he said something about the white lady. I forgot her name. I'm not even gonna give her that energy like that. But at the same time, they're both playing their positions in their respective networks that they're on.
They found a niche. They found a niche and they're exploiting it. It is entertainment.
And the mere fact that we're having a conversation about them
proves they're doing something right.
You know what I'm saying? So whether I agree with them or not is neither here nor there. What are they doing for blacks? Particularly, to me, they're black people on the screen that talk about sports, and that's where I'm at with it.
Okay.
You ain't see the countdown? I was doing it because I knew Avery was about to end.
You know, it's deep because Stephen A. You know, I come from the same area he grew up in. I don't agree with the way he moves, and that's what I always going to hold any man that has a platform. Because to me, your platform is important because your platform is influence. And to what Banks said, which I got to agree on, the apologist to me is a problem because whenever you excoriate a black athlete, you don't have a problem doing it. You know, there's no apology there.
Triple word score, I like it. Good.
When it comes to white athletes or white owners, you always apologize to these dudes, and that's ridiculous. Now, the other side is Shannon. I like the realness of Shannon having a platform, speaking in a manner that he comes from awareness. And that's what he brings to the table. Many of these shows that we watch do not give you the full black perspective. That's one thing about our show, which I love doing this show because we have the ability to talk about things that others will not bring up. Right. We touch on some really touchy subjects, but we come from where we come from. It's not fake. It's not, it's not scripted. It comes from a place of understanding that being a black man in this country means something. And when you have a platform, you have to use it to the best of your ability because there's young black men that are listening to you. And that's why I was one that brought up the whole Kanye thing. And I was first to say, he's using his platform to turn people a certain way, and that's horrible. And that's what we can't have. So I think Shannon represents us, and Leaf, I give you very much props for saying it because the hen dog, the solo cups, and doing all that, I get it. I get the gimmick, but at the same time, you don't have to do that because your voice is stronger than the gimmick.
And it makes them, to me, it gives it a perception of how they see us sometimes. You know what I mean?
They're buying into the stereotype.
Yeah.
They buy into the stereotype.
But skill.
Yo, it's, but the one thing,
Avery,
but
you all right,
let's say
Avery?
this though. The one thing that I have to bring up is, even though they're pitted against a white co-host, a lot of times we get a full perspective on seeing how social issues play out in sports.
Yeah, and I think to
It gets
Avery's
us
point,
talking about that.
you know, at the end of the day, man, there's two black men on TV, and you know, I might not agree with both of their opinions all the time, and I'm more partial to Shannon than Stephen A. But to see two black men on TV, man, that's a beautiful thing.
But I wish Stephen A. represented us better.
Absolutely.
I can talk about representation. I think, but now
I guarantee you, in his eyes,
he
he
just
feels
get-
like
just
he's
get-
representing to the fullest of
gives
his
another
ability.
you want to
perspective.
delve into this a little further.
Whatever. Please don't mention that guy's name. Oh, we keeping it with just these two?
Yeah, just
all right.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
We're not
let's-
talking
let's-
about.
let's-
We're
let's
not
come
talking
back.
about Fat
Yeah.
We're
Boy.
gonna come right back.
Thank you, y'all. Listen, thank you for tuning in. This is our take, man. Peace.
Hip hop.